Fibercamp Studio is sponsored by Audio Technica, BAMuser.com, the awesome enterprise class video hosting from Wistia.com, Logitech.com, Telestream with the Wirecast 4, Cradlepoint Routers, Plainly.com, and finally XCOM Global, Mi-Fi Data Travelers Rejoice.
Hello, I'm here with Adam Bird from Esendex. Esendex is a company based in Nottingham that works in the SMS and text arena. That's probably a very narrow description. I'm now going to talk to Adam about what he really does.
Hello, Rob. Hello, Nottingham. And beyond, I guess. Yeah, we're an SMS service provider. Ostensibly, we enable companies to send and receive text and voice messages from their computers to engage with their mobile workforce and their other stakeholders, customers. So, for example, we are the kind of company that will enable Ocado to talk to you about your grocery delivery, but also they'll use it to talk to their drivers about the shift patterns, and we enable companies like HomeServe to dispatch a plumber, assign a plumber within 15 minutes of a call. So that's the kind of the operational side that we work in.
Yeah, I remember SMS being sort of a big commodity service over the last sort of 15 years. What does Esendex do that sort of takes it further than that?
I think from our point of view, there are commodity elements to our business. You do look at broadcast, you look at voting, you look at ringtone delivery, content delivery. What our customers come to us for is the ability to communicate in a reliable and resilient fashion. And SMS is the single best way of communicating with people whenever, wherever they are, and it crosses all sorts of demographic boundaries. And and without that, there's no way of many of the business models our customers are engaged in actually occurring. But so what they get from us is simplicity and a set of tools that enable them to get on with their business, and we worry about the complexities of dealing with mobile networks and making all that happen.
Because it's not just about sending a text, is it? It's much more complicated than that. It's about two-way discussions, short codes. You also do it from the PC, don't you?
Our software is all web delivered. Yes. So we have a web tool. We have integrate with email systems as well. Fantastic. So again, if for call centres, many call centres can interact via email, but actually we can SMS enable a call centre kind of within 5 minutes, and suddenly another channel of communication is opened up. And then what we're finding is customers will use that to prove the business case for then embedding SMS functionality using our APIs into their line of business applications, so in response to certain events. And so, for example, Virgin Media is using us for driving the installation process, not just getting the engineer out, but actually the process it uses to provision the box when it's engaged on the customer's premises. Right. So it becomes an instrumental part in every aspect of the process. It's about business transactions, if you like. That's our focus.
So you mentioned Virgin Mobile, ironically being a mobile company.
Yeah.
What sort of spectrum of customers do you service then?
Well, we've 11,000 and around the world. So
very impressive.
The problem with going for FTSE 100 companies is there only 100 of them. And
that's very true. That's an axiom, I think it's called. Isn't it?
I think maybe. Yeah. So what we decided to do was build a business to support SMEs. Now, we have lots of large companies, and they're kind of easy to talk about, and they're nice, easy case studies for everyone to understand. But the real power of our organisation and what our customers get from us is the fact that we service a lot of different sectors, a lot of different markets in a lot of different ways. Plus, with our international focus, we have an office in Barcelona serving France and Spain, in Melbourne, Australia, serving Australia and New Zealand, and now we have an office in San Francisco, servicing the US market. Our assault on the US over the pond is on. I think I gave a talk recently at one of the local event about our international presence and the challenges we face with it. But I think one thing that I've seen from going international was it forced us to scale up our whole business.
Yes.
And it exposed the kind of weak points and the frailties in our business model in kind of stark relief.
Yes.
And forced us to resolve that, which made us the stronger business in the UK. So it's that's where we've taken the leap that perhaps many other people in our industry haven't.
Now, you've talked about this international presence, but you're based in Nottingham, aren't you?
And never start an international business from Nottingham. Flights are a nightmare.
No. East Midlands. Can you get to San Francisco from East Midlands?
Possibly.
Possibly, by about 15 airports.
Yeah, indeed. For a while, EasyJet were flying to Barcelona, which was fantastic, but now it's only BMI summer service.
Right.
So, I spent a lot of time on the M1 going to Heathrow.
But really, Nottingham, you're here because I understand but you've been here for a long time now. Did you graduate from Nottingham University?
Yeah.
Or
University of Nottingham, yeah.
University of Nottingham. I also understand you are the founder of Not Tuesday, which is a tech creative get-together. Do you want to tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, it was... I had a sort of realisation a couple of years ago, Christmas 2008, that I didn't really know anyone in tech in Nottingham other than the people I'd employed, which was a ludicrous situation to be in. And I knew there were people out there. And I tried looking around events, and I think the events in Nottingham were at a low ebb at the time in terms of their attendance and their exposure. So I just trawled Twitter and LinkedIn and pulled people together and said, right, let's meet up. Anyone who's involved in tech business in Nottingham, let's meet up. And we had about 60 to the first event, so it was kind of like, wow, actually there is a scene out there.
There is.
So I've essentially I drove that forward for probably about 18 months. And then I then handed that on to Nick Barker, Web Monitoring, who kind of leads that now. And it's great to see, because I think it's been the focus, but also it's stimulated other events in Nottingham. I think the key thing in any scene, and creative and tech scene, is there are a number of events that each have their own identity that service certain areas. And certainly my company as well, I'm very keen to get involved, and one of my team runs the Geek Up events on a monthly basis, and also is involved in Girl Geek dinners as well.
That's
so,
fantastic.
and each of these events now are coming together under the banner of the Nottingham Digital Community.
Yes.
And we're trying to make a sort of more coordinated effort to where there are opportunities to work together for the good of the whole community, but also make sure that each of those events retain their own identity.
Yes.
So I think we're at an exciting juncture in Nottingham. I think there's an awful lot going on that. There's threads coming together, and it's making sure we keep the momentum up, because I think you look at some of the creative stuff that's happening in Nottingham, so the technology stuff that's happening in Nottingham. I think we have an opportunity to make people realise that not only is Nottingham a great city and a great place to have a life, and I've made my life here, and there's a lot of reasons why I am here.
Yes.
But also you can have a career here, and actually you can work with a bunch of peers who are looking essentially to change the world, and that's kind of it's that level of ambition I think we're starting to see.
I must admit, when I first came to Nottingham, Not Tuesday was probably the big eye-opener for me about the community in the technical and creative sectors.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed coming down there and listening to other speeches too. And I think I gave a speech there about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It was a really nice audience, really receptive. But what I did find really encouraging were the insightful questions. And you often will do a speech and you'll get very mundane questions back, but you can tell the passion and the ability and the entrepreneurialism in Nottingham by the amount of very creative questions that came back.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking earlier about retention, and what we mean by that is people coming to study at the University of Nottingham, for instance, and then leaving.
Yeah.
Now, we've both experienced that as an issue with recruitment, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, how do you think we get over that? I know you talked earlier about creating a bit of a community, but I understand you're doing something that's coming up that might help with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for kind of direct action.
Yes.
So I'm running a recruitment event, or certainly trying to set up a recruitment event, and really this is for the local creative and tech companies to attract undergrads, as they are now, into work placement or graduate jobs. And what I feel that by doing it together as a collective, will be more successful. Now, I'm having conversations with various organisations, and the model I'm looking to put in place is that the larger the organisation, the more you pay. Not necessarily the number of jobs you're offering, which I think is an interesting model, but I think it's fair if we believe that the whole community benefits from demonstrating that there are more jobs available, rather than being in competition. And this notion of competition for talent, I think, is an outdated notion.
I think you might be right.
Because the kind of people that, certainly my organisation and the creative tech organisations are looking to recruit are talented, intelligent, aware people. And they're not of the mindset that I'm going to sell my soul to an organisation and thank you very much for deigning to give me the opportunity to work for you.
Yes.
They're going to make a decision based on what best organisation, but also what best city suits their lifestyle.
Right.
And I think Nottingham has a lot of the aspects for the lifestyle side. We need to demonstrate that it also has all the aspects for the career side. And actually, the creative and tech scenes, the events that we're running, the jobs will demonstrate to people that actually I can have a life here. I can affects change on the world from within this environment, and I can enjoy myself while I do it. And I think that's a really, really important message, and it's where cities like Austin and Boston and have succeeded because they've attracted that kind of person. And I was in Bath on Monday at an event, and Bath has a real buzzing scene. It's a beautiful city. There's a lot of reason to be in Bath, but it has a similar. It's a small city, but there's a passion there, and I think we need to incite that passion in Nottingham. And I think events like the New Adventures in Web Conference are kind of national events that will gain us prominence in the community. But we need to leverage that with real action. Okay. How can we get talented people to come to Nottingham? Well, let's get the ones who are already here to work here.
So how does somebody get involved with this? It sounds like a really good opportunity.
At the moment, contact me if you're an employer with an opportunity you want to get involved. There's something on my blog. I'm forming the details at the moment because I've got to commit to a date. I need to find the jobs, and I've got probably 3 employers now who are big enough to underwrite the thing, but I don't want it to be, and I say big, I'm talking Esendex type size. I don't want it to be having no one larger. I need smaller organisations to come and say, actually, I could do with someone for a year, and to join in that aspect of it, because then I can go to the students and say, there are 12, 15, 20 jobs here. Now, if you'd like to come, sign up on this form, and then we will invite you.
Okay.
So it's there's going to be some filtering on both sides. I want to make sure companies are coming who've actually got jobs, and I want to make sure students are coming who actually want jobs.
Superb.
So that way it'll work for everyone.
Well, Adam, it's been great to sit down with you and have a chat. I can see you're really passionate about Nottingham.
Yeah.
You should be. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for your time, Rob.
Cheers.
Thank you.